Okay, Caitlin, so how is your day going so far?
Pretty good. You are my third interview of the day.
Do you have a lot ahead?
I have three more, I think.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they stacked me. They stacked me today.
Well, guess where I am from. Uh, I was looking at your information, and
Are
I
you
am
in
from
like what part of Ohio?
Toledo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had seen when I was looking up your information, I saw that you uh, were the model for lottery.
The Ohio lottery. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But also the writer for Isolated lived in Toledo.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's actually talk about Isolated.
Okay.
So did you, since you were from Ohio and the writer is from Ohio, is that how you got involved in this film?
Kind of, yeah. I don't remember how the writer and I met each other originally. But I had met him. We had done a short film together, which was awesome. I mean, he's an incredible writer. And then the producer, who was also the DP on Isolated, had DP'd a movie that I had done prior called The Curse of Lilith Ratchet. So I had met the both of them, and both of them separately had spoken to me about Isolated, which had originally been called Open Up before all the marketing things and everything happened. So they had sent me the script and everything, and talked to me about it, and I loved the idea because it's such a cool story. And I had gone through a whole audition process. I like 3 callbacks or something like that in order to book it, and I mean, I was ecstatic because script was
So
cool.
did your nerves get played like a piano at all by knowing that you were going to carry this film on your back and being essentially the main and practically only character in the film?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was the most challenging film I've ever done, for sure, 100%. So did I think that I was going to get on set and maybe ruin the movie? Absolutely. But I feel that like way before before I start any movie, I've got terrible imposter syndrome. So yeah, I definitely got on set and I was like, it's going to be me this time. It's actually going to be my fault because I'm the only face that they're seeing.
So once you, I guess on the other side of that, is there any part of you once you were on set and you were actually filming and you were the only one in there, delivering lines and you weren't actually trying to match chemistry with anybody else? Do you think that that was easier at all than, sometimes working with other cast members? Or did you not ever feel that when you were in there?
I think in the beginning it was a lot more challenging, um, because it was that whole getting used to being the only character on screen and not having anybody but myself and the environment to work off of. Like, I'm in that room, there's not much in that room. I'm alone. So I basically just had like it was more of like me working off of the situation than anything else. And so that was challenging and different because it's so much easier to work off another actor. It's so much easier to work off of another person's like emotions and what they're going through and whatever, and having a scene partner, and I was just in there by myself. With my own inner thoughts. So that was a big thing that I had to really develop, and Tyler and I worked a lot on it, just like what is Nell going through in these scenes, like what is she feeling, what are her thought patterns. My script looked like it had chicken scratch all over it because I had so many notes of like inner dialogue, what was going on, because that in like the situation, that's all I had to play off of.
Huh. That's really interesting.
It was
And
hard.
Yeah, that's an awesome answer. I'm glad I asked the question. So, when you were talking, like you obviously you had spoken, you had a lot of spoken lines. Um, you returned to a kind of a meditation, something, a series of words that would help with the character's anxiety. Um, is that something that you have ever experienced in your life, or that you feel like you pulled from anybody that you know? Or is that something that you kind of had to do some research
Um, I mean, so the character, I feel like the character and I are similar in a lot of ways. Like I deal with a lot of anxiety. I mean, I feel like all of us do. So that anxiety was easy for me to draw on because I know what that feels like. And I feel like all of us have certain ways. When I calm myself down from having anxiety, it's not something that I speak out loud, but that is definitely something that I do. Like I have like a very strong inner dialogue with myself, which is kind of what Nell does as well, except hers is just spoken out loud. So that's I relate to that like having a sometimes I just have to have a little talk with myself in the middle of the day. That's all.
Well, when you're in a room by yourself, I mean, when you exist on your own, it happens. So that leads me to my next question then. With the pandemic, they made a lot of films, made a lot of changes, scene wise, so that people didn't have to be on set together. And I'm not going to give any spoilers for the end of the film, but throughout the movie, you're talking to cellmate next to you, that is included in the film's synopsis. So I was curious if you guys were ever on set together, or if that was dialogue that was cut over one
He wasn't there when we were shooting, but we actually shot this prior to the pandemic, which honestly it made our lives a lot easier because I've been on set obviously since the pandemic, and it definitely makes things a little bit more difficult. But I met him. He was there 2 or 3 days before we started actually shooting all the stuff, all of my stuff. We shot his stuff first. And I was there when he recorded all of his dialogue, but he wasn't there on set with me. The dialogue, I was actually reading against Tyler, but I knew what Lanny had said and like how he had said it back when it was recorded.
Do you, excuse me, do you believe that you would take another movie where you lead? Or
Oh yeah.
when I say lead, I mean lead and also follow. You know what I mean? Kind of are the only character for the most part.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I feel like an opportunity like this is such a once in a career thing. But I hope that it happens again because once we got into it, once we got past the first like day two or whatever, and that anxiety of, oh, okay, I'm not going to mess this whole movie up. I know what I'm doing. I don't have the imposter syndrome kind of settled down or whatever. I had so much fun doing it. I really enjoyed it. It was exhausting and it was hard because I mean, it was me. Like I was there. I was on screen the whole time. I didn't have downtime or anything to go do something. We were constantly shooting. We shot so much footage. It was 12 hours a day for like 30 days, I think, that we shot this movie over. So we were constantly moving. But I would do it again in a heartbeat. It's definitely, it's challenging and I love challenging stuff. So I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to do this, and I would in a heartbeat do it again.
Have you seen the film since the complete film? A lot of
I've
people
seen,
have not. Usually when I'm doing their interviews, a lot of people have not seen the full final film yet.
I haven't seen the final cut. I have seen a cut though. So I don't know
Okay.
what the final cut looks like.
Okay, I won't spoil anything for you, but regarding to the synopsis, it does mention that your character starts to question what you are. And as far as the sci-fi aspect of the film, did you pull from anything that you are specifically a fan of, sci-fi wise, to bring to this character and this specific story?
Actually, the thing that I, and this is going to sound probably really lame, but it's fine. I don't actually care. The thing that I really
You've been
brought
pretty lame so far, so it's gonna track.
perfect. Thank God. I don't have any like crazy standards to live by. The thing that I really pulled on for the character of Nell was like how, at least in my experience as a woman, like how objectified women can be. And so that's kind of what I mean, it makes sense once you like watch the movie, like she's just, and I don't want to like spoil anything, but like that's what I wanted to do. Like
Wow, that's
yeah,
such a
I mean,
good
you have
answer.
to, but that's it.
That's such a good answer.
Yeah, that's
such a
kind
good
of where that
answer.
came from. And so like really like Nell's story in itself is heartbreaking, but also at the same time, if like being on meta or whatever, that's really what I from my own human experience, that's what I had for her.
Yeah, no, no spoilers, for audience, I will reference Ghost in the Shell. But yeah, I think that is the reference that you, or the fact that you compared that, women in the struggle that we as men don't understand what you go through, to, and the objectification, to the science fiction that hopefully the listeners here will get to in the end. That was brilliant. What do you have? Oh, I wanted to ask about Pretty Metal. I had seen that when I was looking through your stuff. Can you tell me about that? Is that animated or?
No, it's a short film. They want to turn it into a series, and it very well could be. It's a great story. It's a short film about an all-girl pop band who's failing miserably. So they decide to create a metal band instead, like a pop metal band. And it's such a cute story. We did a whole festival run with it. We won awards in every single festival that we were in. It's won so many awards at this point. I don't know where it's been or what it's won. I've won Best Actress for that one. We won Best Ensemble several times. It's a really cute film. I can't wait for them to release it to the public. I mean, I think it's only like 10 minutes long, but it's adorable.
Okay, now before I let you go, because I know you have a bunch more interviews, is there anything else that you would like to plug? Anything that you have coming up that you'd like to talk about? Or just anything else that you'd like to say about this film that people don't ask you?
I'm getting ready to shoot a sci-fi thriller here. I start Monday, called Those Greater Than Us. So hopefully you guys can be on the lookout for that. That should be really, really cool as well. But other than that, I hope everybody enjoys Isolated. I enjoyed filming it.
Okay, awesome. Well, you have a wonderful day and we appreciate you stopping by.